Hi, my name is Doug Hoagland. I'm pastor of the Woodside Church in Yardley, and I'd like to talk with you about Love the World, The Church Has Left the Building 2014. In this training video, we're going to talk about how to set up a planning timeline for the mission projects you will do on the day you leave the building. We are suggesting that you kick it off on Sunday, September 21st. And then that the whole program goes for 7 Sundays from September 21st to November 2nd. The day you leave the building is October 26th. Now, of course, you are free to do it whatever schedule works best for you in your congregation. This is just what we're suggesting. We encourage you to find an overall leader, someone that can oversee all the parts of this outreach. A person who is respected in your congregation, is personally organized, someone who's a good recruiter of other people, and of course, has a strong relationship with Jesus Christ. And then that person can begin to assemble a team of leaders who can oversee the various parts of the outreach, especially someone to oversee the mission projects, which we'll cover in this video. Now, 4 to 5 months out from the Sunday that you leave the building, here are some things we recommend that you do. First of all, determine the number of mission projects you will need. So for, say, 200 people involved, that was the number we thought we might have, we took 10% of that and came up with 20 mission projects. We thought there might be about 10 people on average per project. Some projects will have more, some less, but that seemed like a good benchmark for us. And if your congregation is smaller or larger, choose a number of projects based on how many people you think will participate. Then, who do you find to be your leaders for those projects? Well, start with projects you already do. For example, if your congregation is involved in a food pantry, or maybe helping out in a shelter, those are good projects to do on that day. You might also speak to church members who are personally involved in community mission projects on their own. Ask them if they would be willing to lead a project on the day you leave the building for their community project. You want to recruit leaders who have strong skills, leadership skills, and are organized people. You also want to speak to people who are in your church who might have a friend or a neighbor who is in need in some way. Say they need their leaves raked or their gutters cleaned or some repairs in their home. These are good projects for people to do, and they're easy to arrange. You also want to consider the types of projects. For example, make sure you have projects that can appeal to different age groups. So there might be projects for families with young children, for teens, for adults, and of course, senior citizens. You don't want to have anybody feel left out because there isn't a project that meets their skill level. Then you also want to consider different people's skill levels. Some people are good in home repairs, others raking leaves, some are good at sewing. Whatever the variety of projects, try to make sure that there are different skill levels so all people can be involved. Some will involve heavy lifting, others will be lighter. Just make sure you have a variety. And then you want to have a few projects in your building. I know it's called The Church Has Left the Building, but we always made sure to have a few projects in the building for those people who showed up last minute, or visitors, or people that didn't sign up. There was always a project that anybody could do if they wanted to. Now, we're 3 months out from leaving the building. Try to have leaders in place, and then ask your leaders to get the details about their project. How many are needed for the project? Is there an age limit? Do they need background checks before they go? Do you need to bring any equipment along with you? And is there any required skill level? This is good information so that your leaders can answer questions when people sign up. Next, you want to advertise Save the Date in your bulletin, website, newsletter, and other publications of your congregation. Also, have your church staff and leaders communicate and share the idea with their ministry teams. You want to include as many people as possible in preparation for that day so that when the day comes, everybody knows about it. Ask members for ideas about projects and potential leaders. During worship, we would ask people to write on a slip of paper, "Contact me about a project idea." Then communicate with them, learn about the idea, and of course, ask them to lead the project. Make sure you don't list any project that does not have a leader. This is crucial because you don't want people signing up for something that does not have a leader. Now we're 5 weeks out, and this is the kickoff for The Church Has Left the Building. At this time, you want to begin taking sign-ups for the projects. You can place information in your bulletin with the name of the project, the leader's name, and any other details. Then ask people to sign up during worship or online. Make sure you ask them to act right then, because if they wait, they might not do it. Ask leaders to do their own recruiting. Tell them not to wait for the sign-ups. The more people they contact, the more will be involved in your projects. Then monitor sign-ups. If necessary, you can close a project if it gets full. Send the names of those who volunteer to your project leaders. Now we're 2 weeks out from leaving the building. Ask leaders to contact those who have signed up. Leaders should confirm volunteers' participation, and then let them know if there are any details, such as the time of the project, where you're going to meet, where it's located, any tools they might need to bring. Now is the day we leave the building. On that Sunday, you can gather in your church building for a commissioning prayer. Or if in your congregation you're going to have a worship service, you can do that. I encourage you to make it brief so you can get people out there to serve. Some of our projects gathered at the work site and didn't come to the church building, and that's fine. Make sure you have a greeter in the building to welcome visitors, explain what you're doing, and then invite them to join one of the projects in the building. And we actually had people participate on that day. It was great. That was their first encounter with the congregation. Choose a techie person to receive pictures by email, someone who can make a slideshow with music for the evening worship service. And then remind everyone to come to the evening worship service. This is crucial because it's such an inspiring time to come together, having served in the Lord's name, and hear about all the people did during that day. If you have further questions or want more information, go to our website at www.woodside-church.org or email me at doug@woodside-church.org. We hope you'll join us for Love the World, The Church Has Left the Building 2014.